Hey guys, this is Nathan and welcome back to HermitPack. So as you can probably guess, I have spent a lot of time messing around with chisels and bits. So I think I've been working on this for upwards of about 5 hours, maybe 6. It's been a long time spent on this. So I have learned a few things about chisels and bits that makes it quite a bit easier to work with. One of those being, if you set your chisel, or your blocks for that matter, to connected or same material, you can actually pick up an entire block. So if we set this down, we pick up the entire block in bit form all at once. Which that's really handy, I must say. So let's see here, connected material, no, we want to go to same material. And we'll pile this back up, make it back into a block. That was not what I wanted to do. Well, I have a whole bunch of grass bits now. This is something that I did see Exuma doing. And yeah, you can actually make stepped grass with chisels and bits. But like I have said in the past, I don't know how much that causes lag. It may not cause lag at all, I'm not sure, but I don't really want to take the chance on that. Now I have another piece of coarse dirt. Where did I have more coarse dirt. What? Okay, somehow I have missed a little bit of coarse dirt. Oh, I know where that's from. So I had a spot over here where this edge of the hardened stone went into some coarse dirt. And I have a little bit left over. So that was in my bit bag. And it got pulled out because I accidentally hit some coarse dirt. But, yeah, I have been working on this for quite some time. A big part of it has been figuring out the curves. And the top curve is one of the worst. Because getting this shape was almost impossible to do with any generators. And so what I ended up having to do is just kind of freehand this. And I just started with half slab shapes and then just started kind of contouring it down as I went. And half slabs are 8 bits tall. Then I went down to, well, call it a quarter slab, which is 4 bits tall. Now I have it to 1/8 slabs, which is 2 bits tall, and that's what I was looking for. At this stage, when I got to this point, I started also looking at the lengths of them, and I see we are missing a few bits here. But I started looking at the lengths and adjusting those accordingly, and one thing that I noticed when I got to the very end was that these final sections of the bridge, the road surface, should be longer than the ones here towards the middle of each side. And then once again they get longer in the center. And that's just kind of the way that most of these bridge decks are made. You get a gentle approach, a fairly steep section right in here, then a gentle curve across the top, steep, and then gentle again. So it's kind of interesting the way that those are built. But one thing that this bridge is definitely still missing is side rails. And I don't know how much detail I want to put into those, and I might have to just hold off on that because, like I said, it has been a lot of time spent on chisels and bits. And even though this bridge is really starting to look cool, I kind of feel like I need to do something else for a little while. Oh, that is so cool when you go over the top, seeing it kind of disappear. Oh, that is really awesome. But yeah, I think I might kind of do a little bit more experimenting with getting some type of a shape for a side rail on this. I might have to do a little bit more research to see what those should look like and how far out it needs to go. And another thing that still needs to be done on this bridge is the underwater stuff. Now, I did a little bit of work here on these pillars because the hardened stone does go under, or it should go underwater there. And so I knocked out half of the mossy stone bricks and replaced those with the hardened stone. Now, there's a couple of things here. First off, these go 4 blocks out into, or they should go 4 bits out into the water, but I need to start doing water chiseling or liquid chiseling to do that. Not really looking forward to that. And another thing that I need to do with that is putting what I was talking about, those little triangular pieces on here that are meant to divert the flow of water around the support pillars of the bridge. So there's still a lot of stuff to do on this bridge, and yeah, I think I'm gonna do just a little bit more research and work on this. I'm definitely not going to be finishing it right now, but I'm going to get a little of that done, and then I'll take a look at what I want to do for today. So it has been a couple more hours of working with chisels and bits, and yeah, I definitely need to stop this. I've gone ahead and put everything that I've been using back into this chest, but this thing is looking incredible. I went ahead and designed a little lamp for on top of the posts. I think that looks really good. That's actually glowstone in there. It's chiseled glowstone, and it does emit light. If it was nighttime, we'd be able to see that, and I think actually the sun is going down, so we might get a chance to see it anyway. But so I'm just following the exact same contour as the bridge deck for these side rails. I've got some smooth stone, chiseled smooth stone for the top and bottom of the side rail, and then the center is just regular old andesite. So, yeah, oh, here we go. Now you can actually see the light that is being emitted by these lamps. So I'm not quite sure why. It seems like this one is producing more light than this one. Do I have them at different heights? Yes, I do. How did I get these guys at different heights? Something isn't quite figuring out right here. So that's down 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Oh, that's only down 2. Oops. I goofed something up. Well, I might have to try to figure that out some other time, because obviously I'm not going to be doing it right now. But, yeah, these lamps do give off light. That is one cool thing. Now, one thing that I learned about the glowstone in Chisels and Bits, if we grab some of these bits, is that it actually emits light based on the number of bits that are in a space. So let's go ahead and change what we're covering here. Let's go ahead and go with eighth size cubes. So if we put down 1/8 size cube, nothing happens. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, still nothing. Oh, and I'm out of them. Okay. Need my bit bag. Whoops. So let's go ahead and grab some more of those. Now, as we continue to add to this, eventually there, you can see right there, the light level changed. Oh, and I don't have my chisel, so I can't pick these back up. Really? There. Now I have my chisel. So now if I pick one layer of this back up, you can see the light level drops, There it goes up. And with each one now it's going up until we're at maximum light. So I think what I figured out is 3 quarter-sized cubes is all that it takes to get maximum light level for a block. Doesn't take much. But yeah, those actually do give off light, and that's a pretty neat little thing about it. But I think it is about time for us to leave this guy behind for a little while, go do something else. Even though this area is really starting to look cool and there's still tons of work to do on it, I want to do something else, keep myself from going insane, because that chisels and bits stuff will make me go insane. So we are going to be heading back down to the Botania area. So, before we go there, we do need to turn on our remote storage access. So, we haven't been down to the Botania area for a while, and I think we need to get a little bit of stuff done down there to try to get a little further in Botania. So, currently, I believe the tree farm is turned off. It hasn't been loaded, and yeah, I don't think that it's been doing anything. But, well, maybe it has been. I don't know. But I want to get our mana generation moved higher up, and I think we're actually going to put that in another one of these little side bubbles on the opposite side. And then we're going to start looking into some of the actual tech of Botania. I guess you could call it tech. So, yeah, we need to get these endoflames moved upwards. And there's one of my Torturinos. But so I got to move a whole bunch of stuff. I'm going to have to make a bunch of mana tablets in order to save this mana. So a mana tablet takes a mana pearl or a mana diamond and some living rock. Well, I think we're going to go with pearls because we have quite a few of these. And this actually may use a fair amount of the mana. But, yeah, this stupid coin of fortune sometimes. But I think what we're going to want to do is move all this stuff up and then possibly look into some new forms of generation as well. Because there are definitely better ways to make mana than through the endoflame. And you can see I did use up all of that mana. So I'm going to get this all moved around and taken care of, and I will see you guys in a little bit. So I'm building this second dome, and I thought an easier way to do this would be to lay out the whole platform in the pattern that it is, and then push it around with the wand, with the pushing wand. So, nighttime again. And not quite nighttime. But, so what I need to do here, I've got this one, this goes, okay, so we come out 2, and then this one, always doing this wrong. This one goes down, and then we need to push these guys down. Now, I've said this before, I'm using plots.co.uk to find this shape. So I've got 2 singles, then 2. Now this should be 5, I believe. Ooh, do we have a hole here? No, I've got that wrong. So that one needs to be pulled back up. So I've got something wrong here. Am I looking at the wrong one here? Let's see here. But anyway, by pushing this down, if I can figure out how to do this right, Boy, I'm having a terrible time. But I'm going to push all of this down by a little bit. And then I can go through and push the next little ring in the center down. And I'll just keep doing this until I get down to the middle. But yeah, I've definitely got something wrong here. I'm not sure what I have done wrong. But I'm going to push this all down into the shape that it is supposed to be in. Then I'll build the dome up over the top. And then, like I said, this is where we are going to be doing our mana production currently. Now, I don't know for sure if I'm going to continue with the mana production in this area, but we're definitely going to be producing it here for the moment, and I'm pretty sure that one didn't need to go down. But I'm going to get this all done. And I will see you guys in a little bit when we start setting up some mana production. Well, I am done with the second bulb for this thing, and yeah, that looks pretty cool. So I went ahead and placed in the vivid grass again. This stuff, we can place the generating flora on it from Botania. I already checked that, so I'm really happy about that. But I also found out that if you pick this up with anything other than Silk Touch, it turns into dry grass, which is really ugly. So, yeah, make sure that you're picking that up with Silk Touch. Even the swapping wand picks it up as dry grass. So, that's just something to think about. So, in order to get a lot of this stuff going, we're going to have to set up our Endo Flames again. So I'm going to set those here. We're going to set the mana spreaders right next to them. And then we're going to remove this center torch, which is probably going to be a problem because I think that's going to allow mobs to spawn. But now we're going to attach these mana spreaders to the mana pool. And I think we're going to need to, yeah, we need to attach the Endo Flames to the mana spreaders again. Now what we need is our Torcherinos, and we just need one of these. Been picking up Torcherinos all over the place. I must be leaving them everywhere. But so we're gonna come down here and grab a little bit of charcoal blocks so that we can get a little bit of mana generated, and I'm going to drop off these blocks here again too, and I just dropped off my builder's wand. So this one I believe is the one that I had. It is not fully charged, and speaking of fully charged, let's go ahead and charge up our wands here as long as we're down here, and we can drop off this piston scepter as well. So now I need to get a little bit of mana generated, and I love the fact that you can teleport through blocks with this thing. But, yeah, we need to turn off the Coin of Fortune. And now we can drop a couple of charcoal blocks here on each of those. They'll suck it up and start producing mana. And, of course, because we have the Torcherino, it's going to produce mana fairly quickly. But we need to take a look at what generating flora we want to use. So I have no idea what I was looking at there. So generating flora, we have the Gormarilis, however you pronounce that. This one will use food. Now we're already using food to power our main base, and I don't know if we want to use food to power Botania as well. But we have the Endo Flames. We're using those use burnable fuel. The Entropinium, these guys use the explosions of TNT. Now, if we had some way to automatically get gunpowder, that would be a possible option. We don't have any mob farms set up that are constantly making gunpowder, though. The hydrangeas, these guys will produce mana just by sucking up water. Now, these used to only have a 3-day lifespan, so I don't know if they're real good. The Munch Dew, they will eat the leaves of trees. So if we were to set up something with the tree farm, those guys would actually eat the leaves. And now we're getting down into ones that I'm not really sure of. I think the Thermal Lily will eat lava. Yeah, so it's the lava counterpart of the hydrangea. The Rosa Arcana, I have no idea. Experience points are a form of magic of sorts. The Rosa Arcana can tap into it and absorb the experience of players on the ground around it, turning it into mana. That's interesting because we have tons and tons of experience. Now I'm kind of curious, what is the recipe on this? We need a rune of mana and then just some petals. So we would have to get to the next step of what I'm wanting to get to yet today before we get to that anyway. This Narslimus, what does this work? There's some sort of unbeknownst power in the universe that creates slimes at seemingly random spots. Slime chunks, they call it. The Narslimus is a flower that has the ability to tap into that energy. If placed down near a slime created by that power, it'll destroy it, collecting all the mana generated by the entropy. The larger the slime, the more mana is created. It also makes a bit of a sticky mess. Not thinking we want to do that one. So we've got a couple of options here. We could go with the Entropinium or the Gormariolus. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. But now these guys, I do believe, actually care about the information given in JEI as to how much mana it's going to produce. But so steak will take 4 seconds to digest, an apple will take 2, a loaf of bread will take 2.5, and so on. Mana created, yeah, it follows the saturation. Saturation tells it how long to make it, and the hunger tells it how much to make. So once again, these require runes, so we are going to have to make the runic altar. Now, in order to make the runic altar, I am going to need to get a little bit more mana here. So I am going to sit here and just keep putting out charcoal for these endo flames, and we will get a good amount of mana. Once we get that, then I will be back. So I'm pretty sure we have enough mana now, almost half a pool. Now the other thing is I set down a second Torturino. With the Torturinos running at 400 and 300%, the endo flames just barely produce more mana than the mana spreaders can move. So that's pretty much maximum ability to generate mana out of the endo flames is about 700 times. So that means that we could potentially put close to 7 endo flames around one mana spreader and it would keep up. But so I have moved a crafting grid up here. I set up a remote or a wireless receiver up here, and now we can make some other things up here. So let's go ahead and look at Botania. So we need to make the runic altar, and there's a lot of blocks. Let me see if I can find it here. Where are you, runic altar? I probably went past it. I'm sure I did. Where is the runic altar? There it is. Okay, so the runic altar, we need living rock and a mana pearl or a mana diamond. Now I made a whole bunch of the mana pearls earlier, so we do have that. So now we have the runic altar. For now, I'm just going to set this right here, and we need to make ourselves another mana spreader to give mana to the runic altar. So let me throw a little bit more charcoal out there. So the mana spreader, I don't even remember how to make those. It's been so long since I've made them. Oh geez, there are so many things here. Mana spreader, right here. So the mana spreader is just gold, petals, living wood, pretty simple. So I'm actually going to make 2 of those, and we will put those right next to the mana pool, and then we can bind this to the runic altar. Now I think that will automatically pull mana out of the mana pool. So now we need to make some runes. So let's just take a look at those. So we have the rune, and actually I think we can do this a little easier. If we go at Botania and then go runes, there we go, rune. So that also gives us the runic altar. But so we need to start out with these 4 basic runes. We have water, fire, earth, and air. Those can be combined together with other items to give spring, summer, autumn, and winter. And the rune of mana, I believe. Yeah, that's a basic one. We need mana steel for that. But then we get into the higher level runes. These are the 7 deadly sins. So we have lust, gluttony, greed, sloth, wrath, envy, and pride. Now most of these will take tier 2 runes to produce. And so we're going to have to make all of these runes. Some of these get used when they disappear when they are used in crafting recipes. Some of them will stick around. It depends on whether it is on the runic altar or in a petal apothecary or how we need to set it up. But so let's take a look at the rune of water first. So we need a mana powder, mana steel, bone meal, sugarcane, and a fishing rod. So I think what I'm going to do, I am going to set up all of this stuff. The fire is the mana powder again, mana steel, nether brick, gunpowder, netherwort. Earth is same with stone, block of coal, and mushroom. Air is carpet, feather, and string. Now this mana powder, we can make this from just about anything that is dust. We have gunpowder, redstone, glowstone, sugar, floral powders, and we have floral powders like crazy, but we have tons and tons of redstone too. So I'm going to get all of those recipes set up, and then we're going to take a look at these others. Now I'm not sure, spring is water and fire, and I think these get used when we do this in the runic altar. But so I am going to get a whole bunch of these, probably a stack of each of these tier 1 runes crafted up, and then I'll be back. Well, this is a little bit of a problem. Just making up the mana powder and the mana steel ingots, I drained the mana pool. So we definitely need to get some better mana generation, and I mean, we are pushing the limits here. That's the equivalent of having 14 endo flames firing at this thing. So I suppose I'll make a few more endo flames and try to get that mana generation a little bit higher. But this is kind of putting a delay on our ability to craft things in the runic altar. So I suppose I'll get some of this stuff set up, and we'll take a look at that in the next episode because we are out of time. So I'm going to say thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the episode, don't forget to give a thumbs up. If you are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. If you have any thoughts about what I've been working on or anything that I could work on in the future, be sure to leave that down in the comments, and I will see you next time. Bye!